Hello, hello, and welcome to the show. We have a very special broadcast for you today. As you know, ASTROGEEKS meets every Monday at 11 p.m. with Gemini Brown and the Pisces Moon Goddess. Well, it's Tuesday night, so what's going on? For the summer, I'm bringing you special guests to our Tuesday night broadcast because we welcome all divination practices that realign our vessels with the cosmos. So tonight we have a special feature, and I would like to bring on HOUIEA Love. We will be discussing the importance of spiritual protection and what practices we can utilize in our meditation to provide this. So, HOUIEA Love, are you with us?
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I believe our listeners are in store for a fantastic session. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very excited to do this. Haven't done Blog Talk Radio in years.
Great. So what I'd like everyone to know is that I have been attending HOUIEA Love's meditation sessions here in Brooklyn. And these are very powerful sessions. So just to get right into it, could you tell us about your journey with the metaphysics and briefly tell us about how it is that you have come to be doing this work?
Well, I started consciously on my spiritual journey in 2012, had like the awakening and all that stuff, and I basically cut everyone off, and I decided I was just going to start researching any and every religion and modality with like a childlike innocence. And from there, I started studying numerology pretty deeply, and I started like reading myself, and I started, doing readings on my friends. This is 2012 and into 2013. And then by the end of 2013, about October, I was ready to like actually go to an expo, so I went to this like a psychic and wellness expo, and I was doing numerology readings, and like stuff was coming up that was a little bit more than numbers for the clients and everything. And like some people were having these more overwhelming experiences, they were crying, and I'm like, it's just numbers, and they're like, no, you're touching on other stuff, and I'm like, okay. So then actually that night, this was October like 17th, 2013. I had linked up with another medium that was there, and he told me, he was like, I'm looking at your aura and all this stuff. He's like, and you can actually do like psychic readings. He's like, I know you do numerology, but you can do psychic readings. And I said, well, I've never tried that before. And I was just like really putting it off, brushing it off. He's like, no, you can do readings. And then he handed me some cards, and he was like, give me a reading. And then I gave him a reading. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was saying, but I just kind of felt my way through. It was almost like seeing in the dark in a sense. And it happened. It was freaking amazing. And, like, within weeks, like, a lot of stuff that came up in the reading was, like, coming to fruition, unbeknownst to me, and then it just became a big thing. So, like, also that year, I had started, I think, like, the next month, I had started doing readings, again, numerology readings at a Psychic and Wellness Expo monthly at Sacred Green Earth down in Oakland, South Jersey. And about 3 months after that, I was doing numerology readings, and 3 months after that, I started doing the tarot. I started reading the tarot for people, which is really fun. I was definitely enjoying it. I enjoy reading tarot cards. I enjoy cards, period. It was pretty fun. And then around June, I had advanced enough in, like, my own practice and, like, Reiki and, like, healing and all this other stuff, cleared enough stuff out within myself that I was gifted with the ability to summon the higher selves and communicate with the higher selves of other people. And it came through such a close connection that I had to develop with my higher self. And then about June, again, I started doing higher self reading. And I'm here. I'm here now. Well, I guess in terms of healing, I became a Reiki master in 2014 as well. That started April 2013, and it took about a year to get my, entire mastership and all of that. And from Reiki, I started really incorporating healing into my art and all that jazz. So now I'm here, And, I do guided meditations out of MINKA, Brooklyn. I've been doing guided meditations for 3 years as well. And I freaking love it, man. This is, very fulfilling. This is my life's work.
And I feel like these meditations that I've been attending, guided by you, are really effective. And I just would like to touch base on the higher self readings. Now, analyzing and taking a look at your website, which is absolutely beautiful, there are actually a plethora of offerings and services that you provide. But the higher self readings, I really feel like are a fantastic gateway. And I'm just going to summarize here what I've picked off of the site. Higher self readings with HOUIEA realign you with your true purpose and will of the divine. They provide insight on exactly what you need in your life as well as what you don't need, allowing you to choose to move forward. The reading begins with a prayer of protection and clarity, then the summoning of your higher self in a safe environment bathed in love. So I'd love for you to clarify for the listeners, when we're partaking in higher self readings under your sessions, are these messages from the ancestors, or are these messages of higher spirit, or is it not quite as black and white? Could you help those who might be a little bit more cautionary, right, to quite understand where the message is coming from?
Yes, indeed. So through the process of, meditation and deep spiritual practice, I've been learning how to exactly discern. And discernment is very important in this process. In this line of work, especially like you're doing readings, you need to be able to know and discern if you're talking to your higher self, someone else's higher self, an ancestor, an angel, or, an extraterrestrial being, or what have you, or what else. And I feel like, so what I do is I say that prayer, and what I say is, ancestors, guardian angels, and divine loving spirit of the Most High, I ask that all that needs to be shared, all that needs to be heard, and all that needs to be understood. And after that, what I do is I summon the higher self of the other person, and it's like we all have a nice chat, and three's a crowd.
Wow. That's so amazing. And for those who are on this spiritual journey, right, some folks that we have listening and who are utilizing our platform as a gateway into the spiritual realm sometimes have a stigma almost to the spiritual practices that we do. Maybe they feel that there aren't always benevolent energies around them. Maybe some people feel like there are maybe more malevolent in the sense, or maybe energies that don't have their best interests at heart. Is that possible? Is it possible that the higher self readings are helping to cut you through sharply into benevolent energies, because possibly there are some energies that aren't working in our favor? Am I understanding that right?
Well, higher self readings don't exactly allow any space for maleficent. What is this word? How do you pronounce this? Maleficent?
Malevolent.
Malevolent. Malevolent or unbeneficial energies, or I mean, let's be clear, it's demons and all this other stuff. That shit is out there. No, higher self readings doesn't exactly hold a space for that at all. But I feel like the prayer of protection and clarity, as well as like just being in the presence of your ancestors and guardian angels and calling on the divine source of all creation, all these types of things prevent these types of energies from infiltrating or even influencing the work that we do, as well as in our lives. Like when we make these calls and we do things like that, prayer, stuff like that, to align ourselves with the vibration of spiritual protection, then that is exactly when we are protected. Like that's when we will feel more liberated in order to be able to do this work without any fear or without any doubt.
Beautiful, and thank you for clarifying that for us. So I'd love to dive right into when it is that we do need protection. And we're actually coming off of a Cancer new moon, and this is quite a stimulating time. Cancer has to do with that shell of protection that the mother provides, in a sense, the nurture, but also the need to protect ourselves from outside energies or things that might be obstructing our growth. So with that being said, I think it's a beautiful time to really understand how it is we can empower ourselves. So I'd love to utilize the rest of this time to ask you about spiritual protection. How is it that we could embody a practice and even learn how to create a barrier so that we can navigate the world and really feel that we're protected on all levels and realms, if that makes sense?
Yes. So as we are all, spiritual and unlimited beings, we are source energy, and source energy, as we are, is our souls, and it is the internal source of all creation that combines and connects us all. Okay, so this is what we are without our bodies. All right. So when we do have our bodies, we have access to everything. All right. Now, how can I put this? When we have our bodies, we have tools, okay? And some of the tools that we have are intangible. So an intangible tool or intangible weapon could be your mouth, all right? So use your mouth, use your voice to command your reality, all right? So I like to tell people who can be like tough guys in person. I say, you're a tough guy in person, you need to be a tough guy in the spiritual world as well. And I like to also reaffirm that it's good to be tough, but also loving, all right? Loving but firm, all right? It's like with a child. When you discipline a child, your child needs to know that you love your child, all right? But you also need to be firm enough to know that you're not to be fucked with and that you need to be respected. You understand? And I feel like I take it to you have to take it to these places in order to assert yourself in a healthy way so that you don't have to defend yourself, or so that you don't have to, go off doing or just go to any extremes that aren't necessary if you just prevent them by asserting yourself, okay? So one of the things I like to do is say a prayer. I'll literally say a prayer. I'll whisper a prayer in the midst of, like, a mess that I'm sitting in. I'll whisper a prayer, and if I can't whisper it, I'll think it. I'll think that prayer. And the Spirit of the Most High, it hears it all. You understand? Like, the Spirit is infinite, beyond us and within us, So that's one thing. The easiest way and the easiest thing to pray is for your ancestors to be in your presence, all right? So if there's some crazy stuff going on, ask your ancestors to be with you, very clearly like that. Ancestor, just please be with us. Ancestors, like, literally welcome your ancestors into that space, because you got to realize a lot of stuff will fly without the presence of your ancestors, and a lot of stuff just won't fly in the presence of your ancestors. Just think about some of the stuff that you would do that you wouldn't do in the presence of your ancestors. It's like a respect thing, all right? And each person has, like an extrasensory, like a sense, like a sixth sense. So they see and know and are well aware of ancestors. It's just they may not be conscious of them. So that's one thing. Is opening up your mouth to assert yourself and to say that prayer, to make that call to your ancestors or to your guardian angels or to the Spirit of the Most High. So the next one is to visualize yourself surrounded in a tube of white light that connects to the divine, or the heavens of the divine, as well as the core and center of Mother Earth, all right? And what should be connecting is your root chakra to the center of Mother Earth, which grounds you, and your crown chakra to the heavens that is infinite, all right, which is, uplifting and enlightening. All right, now allow that tube of white light to go into your chakra system, your chakra tube system, and go into your heart and combining both of those energies, the uplifting, enlightening energy, as well as the grounding energy, to provide a balanced energy. All right, now with this energy, this is like the infinite energy of the universe. All right, now visualize that energy expanding out of your body and into a tube of pure golden and like divine pure love, all right? And allow that tube to become your barrier, okay? And this type of spiritual protection is for the intangible stuff, okay? But that's not to say that it doesn't also work on physical people as well, all right? So there's some situations you may be in where you don't exactly want to touch people, or you may not want to be touched, or stuff like that. And you can use this visualization to help you to discern, because anyone that does not have good intentions won't exactly be able to dwell in the presence of your pure love, because that's not the vibration that they see you on. All right, if someone doesn't have ill intentions for you, then that means they have ill intentions for themselves, which means they're not on a pure vibration of love, which means they choose not to dwell in the presence of pure vibration of love. So that means if you are exuding that pure vibration of love, then they cannot exist within that. Okay?
Wow. Woo, that is some powerful message. And what I'd love to do is to bring on a guest, someone who, Kim, are you with us? Kim has been sharing her story working with the spiritual realm as well. Kim, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Kim, thank you so much for joining. And I know that, this is a public platform, so I want to make sure that you feel comfortable with myself and HOUIEA. But I am really moved by HOUIEA's presence here on this platform, talking to us about our abilities to protect ourselves in the spiritual realm. And I figured this would be a great invitation to bring you on and to briefly share your journey, and maybe we could have a dialogue amongst the three of us, on a real, physical, hand-to-hand basis of how we can really apply the spiritual protection even on your journey. So would you mind taking some time? And first, here's HOUIEA. Kim, welcome. And
how you doing, Kim?
Would you...
I'm doing fine. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay. My name is Kim. I guess I'll start off with I just came in, tried to got into religion maybe like 3.5 years ago. And immediately after I decided to come in and change my life, stop doing the things that I was doing, I immediately started having visions and dreams. I always had dreams, but I just never understood them. And they wasn't like I started having them 3.5 years ago. So when I was going to different churches, and I had joined one church, and it was a Nigerian pastor. And I had joined the church, and I started having dreams. I started having visions. I started having, I would see African people jumping. I would see kids. I would see colors, different rainbow colors. I would see demons. I would see angels. I would see stop signs. I would see pathways, highways. I would see all kind of things. Elephants and bears, and I had all kind of dreams, all kind of visions, and I was just having a hard time because I just was very fearful because I didn't know anything about the spiritual realm. So I used to be going to people asking them, what this mean? What you think this mean? Or, would you pray with me? I'm being tormented, and I just really went through it, and I went to that church for a while, I went to that church about 2 years. I went to that church, and they would always pray for me. Everybody knew I couldn't sleep. I didn't get that much sleep because I would always be tormented. Every time I closed my eyes, I would have visions and dreams. And I would have dreams about all my family members, everybody that died, some that was still alive. I would just have dreams about my family member all the time. And I was like, what do this mean? What is going on? So I started talking to the pastor and his wife, and they would pray with me, and I was cleaning up the church, giving all my money to the church, picking people up from the airport because we had miracle services all the time. Just trying to get knowledge. I was just speaking, asking anybody who I thought was spiritual, could they help me? Nobody couldn't help me. Nobody understand what I was going through. They kept saying they had never experienced that. So I was like, oh, my goodness. So I would leave one church. I go to another church. I would have dreams about the church. I would see pastors standing on platform with shades on. And every time I go to a church, I have a vision about something at the church. So I came out the church, and I said, well, maybe this means, and I kept having dreams like I would be, it'd be raining, and it'd be like a girl standing with an umbrella, and rain would be coming out. I'll stand under like a covered parking, and and I see rain coming down on there. So then I started having dreams about lotion bottles. So I finally figured out. I said, well, maybe I'm under the wrong covenant. So I left the church and I go to another church, but I kept having dreams, kept having visions. I mean, so I came out of the church and then I ended up going to the Hebrew Israelites. I started studying them, so I found out, okay, I would have vision dreams even about the white Jesus coming out of my chest. I would have all kind of dreams, visions. I would get attacked, all kind of things, and I would always get attacked in my back. And I kept saying, why do I keep getting attacked in my back? So I started going to the Hebrew Israelites and listen to their teaching and sitting there with them. So I was like, okay, well, I've been calling on the wrong name. So I started calling on the HOUIEA, that name that they said, Yeshaya and HOUIEA and all that. Still having dreams, still having visions. When nothing helped, I was like, what is going on here? Can I get some help? So I ended up speaking to one guy that I met on Facebook. He had posted something, and I ended up asking him, what he meant by the post and whatever. So he started explaining to me. And another thing, I would always have dreams of like men attacking me in the dream. I would always have dreams, and I dream about trees. I dream about houses and kids and my family, and I was just telling the guy about the dreams and the vision. And then so he explained to me and was telling me that, just talking about white supremacy and that we like in the Matrix. He really broke it down for me. And so as he was telling me, I was telling him about my hands. My hands hurt all the time, and I was getting lines, real defined lines inside of my hand and on my fingers, and my hands would hurt and ache all the time. So he started explaining to me about the 12 cycles of the earth and, how they go around and all that. And I was like, wow. So he really helped me understand that I still was under the wrong covenant. He was just telling me, when you pray to, the Creator or the Most High, and then you ask for guidance from your ancestors. And so, and then I saw her. I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw her speaking, and I stopped and I was listening to her, and she was saying that about the contract that she had with her ancestors. So, I skipped the part. So I was going to therapy because I was having dreams and visions so bad, and I didn't understand. I'm going to therapy with this guy. He was a doctor, a pastor, and so many other stuff. So all the things I was telling him that I was going through, it was a white guy. He understood. He knew everything I told him. He had an explanation for it. So he was telling me about, he used to do mind control, and then how, you could go to the dentist and they could do it on you and you would never know. And I remember thinking, well, if they want to do mind control on us, I didn't really understand it, but I just wanted some help. So he was telling me that, if somebody could hypnotize you and you'll never know it, or you can be hypnotized, you can know it. He said, because I believe you got some blocks been put up in your life so you won't come to the knowledge of the truth. So I was like, okay. So when he did the hypnosis, he told me to walk through this door. So when I walked through the door, I seen 3 other doors. So every time I would open the door, I would see a scenario in my life, and I remembered it. Like I said the first time, I seen me and my grandmother sitting on her porch, and she had gave me a cup of coffee and a volume. So he said, well, let's pray and let's ask the Lord, why did she do that? So when I prayed, I heard like in the spirit say, in yoking. So I told him that. So he said, okay, go to the second door. So when I went to the second door, I saw me, my grandmother, and my mother, and a pastor sitting at a table. And the pastor was telling my grandmother, this is the one. And she was saying, no, this is not the one. He said, yeah, she the one. And I kept saying, the one what? What y'all talking about? But they never said. So he said, well, pray and ask what they meant by that. So when I went to praying, I didn't get an answer then. So he said, well, go open the third door. And I opened the third door. I saw me and my grandmother at the car dealership. When I was 21, she co-signed for me a BMW. So I could see the contract and us signing it. And so I said, well, what that means? So when I prayed, and all I could hear was she took spiritual authority over me in the spiritual realm. So when we got through, I was asking him, so what that means? He said, well, you're going to be flooded with a lot of dreams and visions now, and you're going to get explanations to what's going on. So, but whenever we would have therapy, he could see in the spirit real good. So he said, you have a lot of spirits on you, because I would always have dreams of kings and queens and, oh man, just all kind of stuff. So he told me that he saw a lot of spirits on me. So after we did that last session, Huh?
I'm so sorry, Kim. We are just coming down to the end of the half hour. So,
Okay.
so sorry to interrupt you. I just would love to, because we're just listening and following you in your journey through all these spiritual advisors, and I'd love to get Houie's take on your journey so far, so that there's something that you could also take away from this session before we end today. So, Houie, could you just help us to navigate what is it that you've heard so far about Kim's journey? What are your thoughts?
How you doing, love? So the first thing, when I very first started hearing your story, it reminded me of mine in 2012. And what I was doing was, first of all, I know I was very gifted, and I know I was very powerful. So I felt lost. I felt like, I had a whole bunch of power and anxiety, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I went to a pastor, and then he told me something, and I felt like I got a piece of the puzzle or a piece of the pie, but I wanted more. And so I personally was doing the same thing. I was going from person to person to person to find myself, you feel me? And what I found was my personal relationship with the Creator, with the Most High. And from that, how the Creator has created, angels and ancestors and, all these beings that come to help us and serve our highest good. But the most important and most valuable thing that I got was that connection, that relationship, that personal relationship with the Creator that I developed, that you should develop for yourself, because as you develop it, you'll be able to pray, and get answers without anybody else in the room. Because there may be times where you're not paying for a therapy session, or or you just don't have access to that other person, and they're not your savior, So that you command, that you call on, will answer you. When you go directly to the Most High will come directly to you, all right? And it may not be in a way that you exactly like or you exactly want, but it will always be in a way that you exactly need, and that I can promise you. So another thing I wanted to say also is accept your gifts. Like, you have gifts. Oh, my gosh. Like, you have visions. That's a gift. You know how many people want to have visions? What I would recommend is, start using that gift. Maybe even, be of service a little bit. Start journaling with that gift. Start journaling with your dreams. There's plenty of people that don't recall their dreams at all, and you have vivid dreams and you recall them. That's amazing. What can you do there? How can you help the world with that? How can you help yourself with that? How can you help? Or how can that situation be better instead of a burden? How can it be better instead of a burden?
Okay.
Thank you so much for that. I got to slow you down because I don't want the people to get too much of all of this knowledge. So thank you so much for Kim and for HOUIE Love, bringing that knowledge, bringing the connection to the spiritual realm for our listeners. And we do have people listening and getting that info. So if you would like to book a session with HOUIE, you can check him out at www.houie.love. That's spelled HOUIEA.love. Thank you so much. I am so blessed to be in the company of and divine presence as we navigate ourselves on our own journey. And I welcome and thank you for the people who have been listening. And unfortunately, we got to go. So we will check you on the next session. This is your girl, Karina Dean, and I will see you later. Peace.